Hello and welcome to another video. I am back today with another charity shop haul. I went to one of my local areas yesterday and picked up a bunch of stuff. It's not a huge haul, but there are some interesting things that I managed to pick up. So we're going to take a look. Start off with all the paperbacks first. We have Dean Koontz, Odd Interlude. This is part of his Brother Odd series, or Odd Thomas rather, and this was originally digital only, but it got a release in print. I've seen a couple different editions of this. I mean, it is widely available in print now, but at the time it wasn't. I have seen this in shops before, and I've not picked it up because the shop wanted about £7 for it. I managed to get this for £3. So yeah, all good. It is kind of it's a little bit damaged. One of the signatures near the back is kind of coming out, as you can see, but you can just like plop that back in and not really going to affect it that much, to be honest. So yeah, another one from my Dean Koontz collection. I think I pretty much have all of the Brother Odd series now. I think that might have been the last one that I was missing. I'm not entirely sure. Next one is an interesting non-fiction book. Who is Dracula's Father? Other puzzles in Bram Stoker's Gothic masterpiece. So this just goes into questions about Dracula that probably no one really thought to ask or wanted to ask. What was the colour of the Count's moustache? Who washes his underwear? Like, Jesus. So I thought this was kind of like a comedy book at first with that line, but looking through it, it's kind of not. It is kind of quite in depth, and there is quite a lot of in-depth information there. So yeah, it's something different. You can see there's I wouldn't mind picking up that Frankenstein one as well, actually. But yeah, like I said, look different. Seems like it might be interesting. So yeah, grab that. Another non-fiction book. This is really interesting. Terrors of Uncertainty: The Cultural Context of Horror Fiction. So this is all about, obviously, horror fiction in media, books, films, etc. And looking at like cultural and psychological aspects of it, and yeah, just looks like really interesting. It's a collection of essays. So there's quite a lot of in-depth essays in here. Quite a chunky book. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm like super interested in, like non-fiction wise. So yeah, looking forward to taking a look at that. The next one we have is an anthology. The year's best dark fantasy and horror. I almost didn't pick this up because it was like $5.99, and I don't usually pay that much, but there is a lot of stuff in here. A lot of different authors, and you know, it is very, very chunky. So I thought, you know what, sod it, I'll just pick it up. There's your table of contents. So yeah, a lot of big names in there. So yeah, quite happy about that. Like a bit more than I would usually pay, but it's one that I didn't have, and I probably don't have most of those stories elsewhere. So yeah, that was cool. Now the next one is quite a unique book. This is the Complete Sherlock Holmes, but it's not a standard size book. This is like A4 size, which is kind of odd. Lovely painting on the cover. Really, really nice painting. And it has kind of like everything in it. So I have a couple of editions of Sherlock Holmes, short stories, but nothing complete. That really doesn't want to focus, does it? But you know who Sherlock Holmes is. You know who he is. Interesting thing about this book, though, is the stories are actually printed in 2 columns. In like very small text. So this is kind of like quite a thick book as it is, and with very small text. It's just, yeah, something like 480 pages. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never actually read any Sherlock Holmes stuff, but I've heard good things. Like everyone's always saying like how decent the stories are. I've never watched any of the adaptations as well, like film and TV stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to kind of like give them a go, and that's why I picked up like the short story anthologies. But this contains everything that those do, and all the novels, all the other short stories, and stuff like that as well. As does this. A few shops later on, I found a hardback, Complete Sherlock Holmes. And I thought, yeah, okay, why not? Really, really nice hardback. The this little slip here is kind of like a bit tatty, but otherwise, you know, real decent. Introduction by P.D. James, who is like quite a famous crime and thriller author. And yeah, let me actually take this slip off, because I might just put that somewhere inside the book, because it's not like I said, it's not particularly decent condition. That can torn up, but that's the book without it. And you have kind of like nice end papers and stuff like that. Might not be able to read that because it's too dark, but yeah. So this has got the exact same contents as that paperback one, but obviously different introduction, and it's nice to have things in hardback as well. So I thought, you know what, I have that, and they're both kind of like unique in different ways, so I'll just keep both of them. Like I said, if I'm going to read like all of the Sherlock Holmes stuff, probably read them in hardback, but I do still want to keep the paperback, just because of like I said, the lovely painting on the front. I really like that painting, and the fact that it's like quite a unique edition. So yeah, pretty nice finds. Let me put them on the floor actually. One book left. This is one that I did already have, but this is an upgrade from paperback. Sean Hudson, Renegades, with the world's most 80s author photograph on the back. So yeah, like I said, I've got this one in paperback. This is an extra library one. It did have kind of like a protective cover on, and it did have kind of like a library sticker there, which I've taken off to the best of my abilities. There's your blurb if you want to read that. It wants to focus on the glue. There we go. But yeah, so it does still have like a library sticker in on one of the early pages, or stamp really. Got that stamp there. But that's not a problem. The dust jacket is a little bit creased, but that is kind of like because it was like tightly packed in that library sleeve, which I have taken off. So yeah, anyway, nice upgrade from the paperback that I had of that. And that is everything that I got. Like I said, it's not a huge amount, but some really interesting and quite unique things there, I thought. So some nice additions and upgrades to the collection there. Yeah, hopefully next week goes as well. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please click like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.